Hi, I'm Cait Munro. I'm a senior editor at Refinery29, and I have a few questions about fashion and capitalism. For as long as I've been alive, I've been obsessed with clothes. Dressing up and collecting pieces and putting together outfits is a huge part of how I express myself and how I feel good every day. I'm totally one of those people where if I don't like my outfit, it can ruin my whole day. But over the past couple of years especially, I've been thinking a lot about the things I see around me that are wrong. And when I think about these problems and get down to the root cause of them, it always comes down to capitalism. And fashion is a huge part of that. Capitalism is why we're the richest country in the world, and it's why the top 1% owns almost 43% of the wealth. It's why 44 million people don't even have health insurance. It's why CEOs make an estimated 278 times what their employees do. It's why, if we're going to apply it to fashion, a designer handbag can cost up to 20 times more to buy than it does to make. All of that is just insane to me, and I think a lot of other people are waking up and realizing that it's insane to them too. And yet, in the middle of a global pandemic and all of this other stuff going on, I'm still out here trawling the internet for cute work from home clothes. I'm totally part of the problem. So I wanted to find out, could the fashion industry even exist in an economy that doesn't prioritize the bottom line at the expense of everything else? And what can we as fashion lovers do to shop in a way that's more in line with our politics and hold the industry to a higher standard? Tansy Hoskins is the author of the book on this topic, Stitched Up, the Anticapitalist Book of Fashion. So I thought that she might have some answers. Hi, Tansy.
How's it going?
So anti-capitalist sentiment is growing, especially in memes and tweets and on the internet, about how to reconcile a belief that capitalism is wrong and a desire for a different way of doing things with a genuine love of fashion and aesthetics and a desire to own and wear beautiful things. So I wonder if you have thoughts on whether or not it's possible to do both, and if so, how?
For me, capitalism is what is ugly about the fashion industry. Capitalism warps fashion and design and makes it not about the best of human creativity, but it turns it into just providing for the market. For me, there is no contradiction in really disliking capitalism, but also wanting to participate in creativity and joy and beauty when it comes to what we wear every day.
So what might the fashion industry look like in an anti-capitalist marketplace? Or is that just sort of an oxymoron? How can the fashion industry be less capitalist?
This is really, for me, this is about democracy, and it's about stopping fashion being owned by a tiny group of basically white global north shareholders and opening it up. And so that would be the first thing that an anti-capitalist form of doing fashion would change. It would transfer power. Who owns the factories, who decides how the factories run, who decides what's made in the factories. It would take it away from a tiny group of factory owners and giant corporations and transfer it into the hands of the workers.
It's impossible to talk about capitalism without talking about Karl Marx, who predicted that it would cause a lot of the problems we're dealing with today, like globalization, wealth inequality, monopolies, and recessions. When people say late-stage capitalism, they're referring to the period of time when the system starts to break down, which is right now. A big part of reforming capitalism is ensuring that workers are treated fairly. That means a living wage, access to healthcare, sick days, and paid time off, maternity and paternity leave, and safety on job sites. It seems pretty basic, but a lot of garment workers, especially those who make clothes for fast fashion brands, don't have access to this stuff. One thing that Marx argued was that the means of production should be in the hands of the workers. So that would mean the people making the clothes would own the factory, and the people working in a brand's HQ would own part of the brand. When activists and progressive politicians talk about reforming the capitalist system, they talk about strengthening the social safety net, empowering workers, closing the wealth gap, and ensuring equity for all. But how can we apply all of that to fashion? For one thing, we can vote with our dollar and only support brands who have ethical labor and manufacturing processes, or who uphold our ideals in other ways, like offering a full range of sizing. I've loved fashion all my life. I love to shop. I do spend money on clothes. And sometimes I wonder if that instinct is at odds with my beliefs about capitalism and my beliefs about the flaws of the industry.
What I would say to someone like you, or indeed to someone like myself, is that not to get caught in a cycle of guilt about this kind of thing, because really you are up against an absolute machine, like a machine that is spending billions and billions and billions of dollars every single year to make you go and shop.
Take it from Janu Roberts, a low-waste and sustainability blogger who knows all there is to know about shopping consciously.
Fashion is an industry of excess. We're always trying to keep up with the new trends, and brands are coming out with new products left and right. And this leads to a ton of textile waste that just sits in landfills. And so one of the things that you can do is shop secondhand, and you can also upcycle the clothes that you already have.
I'm uplifted by the knowledge that the world is changing for good. And the fashion industry, if it wants to stay relevant, has to change too. I think for me, it also means reassessing how I think about style. For example, I've always wanted a Chanel flat bag, and now I'm like, why? Why do I even want that? Is it just because I can't afford it? Is it just because it's this carrot being dangled in front of me by this industry that needs me to keep wanting that in order to keep getting paid? And can I just decide to opt out of that narrative entirely and do my own thing and define my own path when it comes to style? As long as we're living under capitalism, especially as women, there is always going to be a push-pull between wanting stuff, which is what we're constantly being conditioned to do because that's how this system functions. And recognizing that buying shit doesn't bring us happiness, no matter how many times we're told it will. The whole system's gotta change, and that's a lot to process, especially at a time when there are so many other things going on.
But the fact is, a lot of these issues are interconnected, so it's time to get to work.